User left your channel. User joined your channel.
Hello, stream.
Well, hello there, Duelist Stream.
Yep.
This is CJF Lico, your community manager and the captain of the Jade Falcon team in the tournament.
Joined by one of the other Jade Falcon people. We'll be playing tomorrow. CJF Direwolf 2K. Not to be confused with Direwolf from LCAF. Moderator in Discord. I do not mod anything.
Yeah. I mean, this is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
I think there might even be three at some point. There may have been.
In any case, we're just here spectating the Smoke Jaguar versus Wolverines game. Is this map 2 or map 3 for them?
Map 2.
Okay, so why don't you catch me up on what I just missed?
Right, so map 1 was Stonerose with lowish Siebel numbers. Actually, no. Yeah, kind of like mediums and heavies. Where just WR took a load of HVACs, and SJ didn't close distance very much. They kept on trying to skirmish, ended up taking really bad trades, and then they ended up exploding. They did push, and the push was decent, but it was too little too late.
I see,
Now
I
we
see.
were on Overlordnight, where the two teams have almost identical lists. The one difference between them, they both have Thunder Primes, both of them have Chimera Charlies. The one difference is SJ has a Warhammer Prime for 69k. I got them reversed. Yeah, SJ has a Warhammer Prime, WR has a Shadowcat Charlie to take advantage of all the walls. Still here is to take advantage of the long sidelines, I think. Like, this map is very much about controlling the distance. Playing on buildings and such. So I feel like, just by looking at the lists, SJ is at a bit of a disadvantage unless they can somehow find we are early.
Alright, so since I just got my stream up, really quick, who just won map 1 for us here?
WR won map 1 on Stonerose with the Seabill set number 5, which is like kind of mediums and heavies. We're now on map 2 on SJ's counterpick, Overlordnight with set 6, 104, 59, 48.
Overlordnight is kind of a funny map. If I understand correctly, this is a direct port of the geometry from a Mechwarrior 4 map. And that's why everything looks so weird, because those should be buildings, but they have no textures. It's just naked terrain geometry.
Yep. It's the first time I played this map, I was just like, it just had this sort of eerie, familiar vibe from like looking at it from the air, and I didn't know what it was. And playing it just seemed like this complete formless blob. And only after I realized that it was like a MW4 Mercs map that I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it does have that eerily familiar vibe when you look at it from above. You can just tell from looking at it, like, the way the paths and the verticality and the walls are all laid out. Just feels like Mechwarrior 4. Went to the free camera mode and I'm looking for the teams here. Looks like the Jaguars are up on the high ground in one corner.
WR is by mid. By one of the walls. I want to say it's the easternmost one, but I can never tell which way is north on this map.
This is a deceptively large map.
Yeah. Usually though, there's like a few places where you can see most of it. Like if you get into mid, you can see almost everything. It's a little bit discouraging that teams have not gone there, since one is basically sitting all the way.
Yeah, they're pretty far from one another.
Yeah. It would be frustrating if this ended up going in time, but we will see.
I think the Wolverines are playing very cautiously here. They're probably afraid of unexpectedly running into the Jaguars right around a corner or some such.
Frankly, I would think that like sitting on mid would be the best way to figure out like where the enemy would be.
Right.
Simply because it's the only way that you can see the whole map. Otherwise, you're sitting like inside the buildings and you're asking to run into them.
Yeah, they're just kind of milling in circles, probably hypothesizing about where the enemy is, where they should go.
Yeah. They do have jump jets though, so I see no reason why they can't like get to high ground if they don't have sensors, since they have no hand sensor assets. That would be very, very helpful on this map. I think my real question is what SJ is doing, because I'm not quite sure where they are.
Oh, they're over on the opposite corner of the map, just standing on the high ground. Or they were last time I looked.
They're moving now, I'm just not sure where.
I'm gonna have to switch spectator modes. It's laborious flying back and forth between the two.
Correct. I just wish that spectator cam would actually decide to change modes. Like sometimes it kind of goes back to free cam whenever you press the button. Other times it just goes back to the middle of the map and laughs at you. Or your attempts at trying to follow the team with free cam.
Yeah. Well, the Wolverines are looking around at the rise in the middle of the map now, so maybe they'll spot something. Although the Jaguars are pretty well hidden inside these buildings here.
It's also a little bit bizarre to me because they have MRMs in their list. I think they would want to be leveraging mobility and some kind of mid-range fight, not staying at 0. I'll have to give a 6-minute warning now because of... Hopefully this prompts some movement. Well, WR has now the high ground and can now see the entire map. Or at least everything out to like 100 meters center position, which is solid.
I think they're moving in the right direction now. Do you think they saw the Jaguar team?
I think they must have. Otherwise, I don't know why they would have all went in this direction. They were like previously like kind of split everywhere. They had one on top and one on each side. My guess is they would have only went this way if they saw where the SJs were, if they saw mech legs or something.
No, they're having second thoughts about that maneuver. The Jaguars return to the high ground a little bit. Maybe the Jaguars spotted the Wolverines. They are kind of looking towards the middle of the map.
They have identical lists though, so neither side has an advantage, I think. Like, WR does insofar as that they can break contact whenever they like, because they have like 3 jumping assets versus SJ's 2.
I don't know, I kind of like this Shadowcat pick better than what the other team has.
Exactly. I like the WR pick. I think they basically, because they can break contact more easily, and they can get more damage earlier on, it's good.
I think it's going to depend a lot on whether the Jaguars are able to leverage the armor on the Warhammer Prime over the maneuverability of the Shadowcat. Yeah, they really can't afford to hang out and try to play for range. They've got to go in and make a play. I do like how both teams have a Chimera Charlie. I think that mech is absolutely one of the best bang for your buck at its price range, 48,000 C-bills.
It is really good mech, though, honestly. Like, I think it's a little bit overpicked, especially for when you're dealing with faster assets like this. We're going to be having is, I guess it makes sense in this scenario where it's like, oh, somebody can take a Warhammer Prime, so there's more damage on them.
Yeah.
But like,
oh, I think it's a great counter pick for a Warhammer Prime, especially when you know they're going to have another Chonky Boy.
Yeah.
there's not many things that you could really call a counterpick to a Warhammer Prime, but crapping out tons of damage and screen shake is probably as close as you can get. Well, on second thought, kiting and outranging is probably how you hard counter a Warhammer Prime. Just shoot him from beyond 700 meters. But, kind of hard to do in this environment and with these prices.
Time is also a factor. Have to get a pick quickly.
Yeah. How many minutes are left on the clock?
Not many. 2.5, basically. So either they get a pick or this goes to a draw. In that case, then we'll probably just end up redoing the bend/striking process.
Yeah, this might go to a draw. We'll see if one team can get a pick off before time.
I don't think they will. They have to manage to push fast. The time to kill is literally so low that they can't unless they manage to get the squishiest asset as fast as possible. Nope. Oh, the first gunfire. With precisely like 80 seconds remaining. They can still do this if they won't dive Joey right now. Or not Joey, PBR position.
I was playing some Discord Warrior and I actually missed the opening volley there.
Yeah. It was mostly Demos straight up shots. I do believe one time is called Nobody Will Be Dead. I'll let them play it out though. There actually seem to be engagements happening. This would have
Oh, yikes.
time anyway, I think. Oh.
Or it could be the LB-20 Hollander, actually. Yeah, I think a light gas would be smaller than that big gun there.
So yeah, this will entirely hinge around how the BA performs, I think. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not thrilled that battle armor are allowed in the tournament. I don't think they really have a place in a single life type environment, because you need to really come up with some strange kind of house rules to make them competitive, and it just opens up a strange tactical space where you have to consider in your builds now, like, all right, I have to be able to deal with battle armor. What happens if they bring one?
Yeah, and to balance it, you need multiple lives, which means you have to think about, okay, well, I've got to expend some of these lives doing damage before the battle starts, usually.
Yeah, in Chaos March, the battle armor meta was kind of like, send the battle armor out while the rest of your team hides, and he uses his first couple lives to do damage, and joins your team for his last life on the actual fight. And I always felt like that was kind of frustrating, because to play against it, you basically, you don't know where the hell the enemy is. You're looking all around everywhere. You're thinking, oh, maybe we're NASCARing, which is a short way of saying running around the same direction on opposite sides of the map, basically. And no, you find a battle armor, and maybe he's hiding really well, and you're not sure exactly where you're getting all these PPC hits from. And you're in the same situation as before, but you're taking a lot of damage now. And you're basically with the enemy team.
Well, here goes Demas sees
And
them.
to play on the team that is utilizing the battle armor strat in that environment is equally anti-fun in my opinion, because you get to if you do win, you won by spending most of the game forcing the other team to play instead of you, while you stand somewhere and twiddle your thumbs. That to me is not what Mechwarrior is all about.
Okay, the Smoke Jaguars seem to just be trying to keep away from the battle armor for now.
Yeah, that's pretty much the easiest way to deal with them. It's not hard to play keep away against battle armor, especially if you're fast. Although battle armor can just barely keep up with this Oro tank here, so that's not really a sustainable strategy. If I were in their shoes, I'd be like, alright, Mr. Oro Prime, you're on battle armor duty. Slap him with your LB-20 the moment he appears. Although that's much easier said than done, because he's using the grenade launcher to attack them from beyond their line of sight.
Yeah, and the Smoke Jaguars look like they went the opposite direction from the APC and the other team.
Also, since they have no jump jets, it means it is going to be very difficult for them to easily respond. They have to have the tank watch well and get the shot.
Yeah, I think they're just deciding where to go and what to do now. They got to be searching for the APC. They're thinking maybe it's in the water nearby or in the middle of a rock formation. I think Joey is going down here to check out this forward base. Maybe they could be hiding the APC in one of the buildings, they're thinking.
And WR is not, the rest of their team is not moving at all. You know, they could potentially help zone them. Then that would probably
This could potentially be a second draw match if this goes badly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't think that's extremely likely, considering Deimos can... Yeah, Deimos can very well force the issue either by picking one of them off or dying.
Yeah, if he dies even once, then it would go for, like, the onus is on the WR to push. Since, as my understanding, these are being played by regular Chaos rules. I was the one who had to make the call on this, but there's currently, like, on the public documents for this format, the lists put in a clause for BA, where they can only be taken once per tourney. But otherwise, they have no other restrictions, and there's 3 lives. So
going across from water is actually a pretty good strategy versus BA, because they move super slow in water.
yeah, BA are actually... I know that Saber hates playing BA on this map for precisely that reason.
Yeah, it's also very difficult to hit anything across the water. Like, they're not going to have an easy time shooting him, and he's not going to have an easy time shooting them. And in that situation, that's basically an opportunity for them to escape. Although, what I pointed out about the Oro's speed before is proving to be very relevant.
The other WR members are moving up. I just saw at least one shot. They're plinking with the LB2s. So if they noticed, they could turn around and try and crush the enemy team.
Yeah.
They don't seem to have, though.
Yeah, I don't think they've located the Wolverines. I think they're mainly trying to gain some distance on Deimos, and they're probably very focused on avoiding damage and avoiding the battle armor.
This is actually not a terrible position for them, because there's not as many stalactites for them to hide behind. Or mites, I guess.
Yeah. They're sticking to open terrain, which is good for them right now. But they need to either find that APC or find his 2 teammates and force a direct engagement.
This is so frustrating because, like, they could just have one of their tanks looking in the other direction and shooting at Deimos when he's attacking them over open ground. Like, if he's in range to hit them, then he's in range to LB20. If they kill Deimos,
It does hurt that they don't have any jump jets, because potentially the battle armor could just hide in the stalactites or stalagmites.
He's so exposed.
Poor duelist. I bet he's wishing he didn't allow battle armor in the tournament right about now.
Oh, the other team's moving up, so they're about to clash either way, I think.
Oh, we're about to have a fight on our hands, it looks like. We got first contact between the teams. Bob is pressing W. That's what I like to see. We got some solid hits traded between the bushwhackers here. Duelist is going in hard. He's caught in a pincer here between the Wolverines. I don't like this. Oh, good, good. He's got his front towards the enemy again. They're running Bob down. He's gonna go down any second now. I can feel it.
Oh, there he goes.
Honestly, if they can just ignore Deimos and run down his teammates here, easy. Oh yeah, they got him cornered. Deimos is in open terrain. They got this in the bag unless they make a serious mistake here.
That is an LBX laser.
It's so fragile though. It's going to wither instantly before all three of them. Pabst needs to contribute his massive damage here. He's focusing on the V8 too much. There we go. Deimos could still carry this with his other 2 lives, but
if this has Chaos March rules, he has like, what, 2 or 3 minutes?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have very much time. I'm not sure how beat up the 2 surviving Jaguars are here. I think it depends a lot on how much remaining armor they have. In fact, I'm going to pop in and do a quick check. The Mithras has about half of its armor remaining, but a couple of its sections here are really thin. The sides took a lot of hits here, and the rear actually. So if he keeps his front and turret towards the enemy, he could do okay. And the Bushwhacker is actually doing better than I thought. He's basically... he's got half of his armor still.
Or was what was being focused most, I think.
Are they... oh, they're just returning to their main base, basically.
Yeah, I think they're just planning to wait out the remaining time.
I'm sure what the
or something. If they just keep moving, then the battle armor will have a hell of a time even finding them.
Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to stay on the move. I mean, Deimos is in a very uncomfortable position now. He not only has to 1v2 them, which, you know, I give him credit. He's one of the best, if not the best, battle armor pilot in the game right now. But on top of that, he has to locate the enemy, and he is much slower than them. So it's more like he has to cross his fingers and hope that they blunder directly into him. Which they are not.
Yeah, he only has battle armor radar, which is only 300 meters, so...
they're not tied down to that Oro anymore, so... they are under no obligation to give him a fight. I have to say that was some very strong counterplay from the Jaguars. They didn't panic, they didn't get caught by the battle armor, they stayed focused, they stayed on the move, they kept him at range. Oh, there's the tortoise. Rare tortoise sighting. Disappears once you're 100 meters away from it or so. Anyway. These guys have clearly, you know, I mentioned that this was a feature of the metagame in Chaos March. Well, we've got some hardened Chaos March veterans here with Pabst, Joey, and Duelist. These guys probably attended nearly every one of them for years on end, so they're familiar with the counterplay for this strategy. Clearly.
Yeah, according to Chaos Merch rules, battle armor are not what they call carrying assets. So, they essentially don't count towards your asset count when it comes to ties or victory when the time runs out.
I also have to say, the Wolverines could have done a better job of leveraging the battle armor by playing to range, playing keep away, hiding near the APC, and not seeking out a direct fight. You know, any of those strategies as opposed to what they ended up doing. Uh-oh, it looks like Joey got caught by Deimos here. I didn't even notice. They split up a bit. I think they just want to kill him. It doesn't look like they're trying to play keep away at this point. I mean, if they're both staring at him, he's going to be pretty hard pressed to stay alive while doing any kind of damage.
There's like so little time left. Like, like more exposure plays.
Down he goes.
When this
So
goes to
that's
time,
2 lives, I think.
Yep. Which means Deimos only has 1 left, but since there's like only 1 minute remaining, it counts as no assets left for the WR team. Like, they can probably distance you now, because I don't think they're gonna be able to do anything in 1 minute. But if they don't,
He's going. Oh, he's driving the APC, it looks like. A little bit faster than hoofing it on foot.
I mean, you might be able to get the pick on Joey's Mithras if he is a god, but I still think that WR would end up losing by those rules. With carrying nonsense.
Yeah, I just don't think it's mathematically possible for him to kill both of them in the time allotted unless they were standing by his APC when he respawned.
Oh man, Phyllis crashed.
Oh, that's rough.
Even more complications, exactly 1 minute before time. Perfect.
Well, it's a good thing we're keeping a close eye on the game clock now, isn't it?
Yes. Hypothetical, where Deimos kills Joey in the last 20 seconds, and I have to decide who wins. Oh boy. I do not think that will happen, judging by these engagement ranges.
I think he could pull it off, for sure, but I don't think he has the time, and he's not close enough.
It feels like it's been a lot longer than the 3 minutes the BA are supposed to have.
Yeah, I acquired it as not the 3 minutes it goes to match time, which is, yep.
Okay, so that's a change from the old rules, I guess. The assault tanks, those are durable enough, you usually don't want to focus them first if there's a juicy target like that.
It's mobile enough where they can break contact fairly quickly. As long as it doesn't, like, eat an H-Gauss, like, double H-Gauss and die instantly. Because I think it won't from 1 salvo.
No, it'll take 2 consecutive hits to the same torso location.
I think it's enough. It just depends on how well it draws aggro. Or manipulates aggro, or whatever.
Yeah, he's gonna have to play around the assault tanks well to not be focused. If he does, he can do a lot of damage though.
Personally, I don't really like it. I might have gone for something like the heavy large laser Ares or the Ultra AC-10 Ares, or even a Goblin.
If the UX10 Ares was affordable, then yeah, that probably would have been like almost identical net damage output. Probably, maybe even higher. Higher DPS for sure. And more screen shake. But let me see. I think it might be too expensive. Ares Echo.
This is
Yeah,
interesting.
exactly
They have
over.
Bob leading here. Oh, Ares Echo is not within the price
It's not.
range?
Nope, it's 54.
Okay.
So this is, I think, like a reasonable choice as long as it's able to stay within line of sight of whatever they're attacking. Also, it's like it does. I just realized it gives them like a. This team actually has a lot of 900-meter firepower. Like, they have 2 Clannier PPCs, and they have. Yeah. Okay, only 2 LB5s, but it's something. Not quite enough to match the Anaconda, but
Well, they're
put on some
probably
damage.
not going to end up seeing or running into each other at 900. It'll probably be a bit closer than that, anyways.
Oh yeah, but it would
Due
just
to
be funny.
low visibility and stuff.
Yeah, when I think of Forsaken, I think of 200 to 300 meter engagements most of the time.
Yeah. For the most part, that is what you
That
end up fighting.
rapidly become, you know, zero range fracas.
Yeah. The thing is that, like, because of that, and you always expect teams to build, like, zero range lists, if you can get some initial damage off at, like, 800 with... Like, one of my favorite strategies to have a Great Fox Mauler with, I think it's either BAP or BHP. And just try and put down as much damage on whatever their carries are.
Well, they look like they're moving right towards each other.
Yeah.
Right now, I think I favor the SJs in this matchup, assuming they get into a kind of even direct engagement here.
Yeah. I think it depends heavily on also how their Puma does. If it dies early, then I think they're just gonna get done forever.
Yeah. I think the pressure is actually on Pabst here to help carry the team because he's should be the last one alive.
Yeah.
While Duelist and Joey focus on keeping themselves alive, rotating their damaged components away from the enemy while they're reloading.
I think they may have made contact. Duelist watching mid, and I think they both have GCM assets, which are probably radar on. Yep, they're reorienting. That means Dymos probably also saw them.
Yeah, the
This
Fafnir has Guardian ECM as well, doesn't it?
Yep. This looks like they both saw each other. Ooh. Okay, so we actually are starting at potential volleys at 900.
Joey's
Wow.
maneuvers with the Mars are going to be pretty key too, because that's going to be a very slow, painful charge.
Ooh, that did that impact? I didn't see if TH Gauss hit.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it looked like a
Yes,
max
of course.
range shot. So, you know, at maximum range, a heavy Gauss does about the same damage as a normal Gauss rifle, or maybe
Oh.
slightly less, I forget.
Okay, they're just pushing.
It's still a decent amount, but suboptimal for Dymos.
They're running each other. Oh my god.
Oh no!
Duelist has to go ahead and make him.
This
Straight wrong.
doesn't
Duelist
look
has to
good
take
for
point.
them right now.
Duelist has to take point.
I get the sense that they're not coordinating their movements.
Yeah, WR is hiding out, and SJ
Okay.
needs to keep moving forward.
Yeah, Joey needs to not be facing this rock here, and he needs to close in.
They just need to push at Bob. Duelist needs to go first, and he's, I think, like, fairly fresh. Serial, but yeah, these rocks are just blocking a lot of firepower. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. This is just letting almost create space.
Yeah, I don't think they coordinated a response really. I don't think they're intentionally waiting.
Now they're going.
It just seems like they weren't really sure how to react right away. They were kind of playing bumper cars.
Maybe they weren't expecting the kite strategy.
Oh, Bob's out of position.
Oh? Yeah, they're trying to kill the Fafnir, which is understandable because, you know, that
They sort
thing,
of are.
it's, you know, he can just peek and trade forever and out-trade them.
Getting a lot of damage on it.
Ooh, Dymos is just giving them all those back shots.
They're retreating. Man,
Yeah, this
also
is
the
one of
rocks.
those situations where the Smoke Jaguars might win just because they have bigger numbers.
Dymos made very good use of that ablative arm.
Yeah. It's all coming down to how much damage Bob is doing to Joey, I think.
Ooh. They're focusing on the Fafnir too hard now. Bob just got tons of damage. I was watching him lay on the large horses. But Serial's got to be hurt. He's out of position.
Yep. Oh, Paps is so out of position.
Both
He cannot afford to do
light
this.
medium assets taking a pounding here. We'll see who gives up their life first.
Paps has to keep playing safe. And Joey, I don't know if he should be first.
Yeah, I think they're just regrouping and trying to coordinate their response right now.
Both
Paps
teams have
is-
taken a lot of damage at this point. I can't really tell who's doing
Joey's
better.
doing good.
Yeah, Paps is just trying to save. Oh, Joey's going in.
Still running.
I figured that would happen, but the Wolverines have a lot of distance on them now.
Yeah, giving
Joey,
them
what are you
time
doing?
was the wrong strategy.
Probably one of his panels is open.
Yeah, I'm guessing his left panel is open and he's prioritizing shielding over doing damage. Looks like Duelist is shielding as well. I think they really have to keep up the pressure though, because this is what the Wolverines want right now.
Yeah.
They're giving them an opportunity to peek and trade and hide.
Yeah, they're taking advantage of their alpha strike range, and the Smoke Jaguars need to be like moving forward.
Joey is weathering fire
So
from
slow.
both of them alone. Not sure what's going on here. Joey really needs some backup right now.
Maybe the other two assets are too damaged.
Oh, there goes
or
Thanos.
something.
Oh, the Fafnir and the Puma are both down.
And there goes the Mars.
Oh man.
Now we have Duelist charging backwards.
Duelist must be pretty damaged because he's
Yeah.
pointing his rear straight at the enemy, and that's the last thing you'd ever do in a Morrigu. Desperate times. I don't think Bob is very damaged. Did you guys see him take very much damage?
He definitely got focused a little bit.
He's pushing forward, so he must be confident.
Just wants an angle. Or doesn't know where they are. Dual sees. You know. There's the blind fire with ATMs. Oh.
Oh, he's just being jumpy. We've all been there. In the heat of the moment, sometimes you just choke. Get in there and ram your missiles up his throat, Duelist. Those ATM-9s are a huge part of his damage. He doesn't want to outrange there.
Close game. In any case.
Yeah, very close game. I think it came down to the fact that spending extra
so
time
low.
deciding what to do was an advantage for the WR
Yep.
team.
Yeah. Bob
They gave
with-
him too much space, and they
0,
didn't
0
focus the
rank.
Hewitt.
They did early when he was like Bob was caught out of position extremely early, but Paps then ignored him and then went to go dive the Fafnir and then ended up eating a ton of damage for it.
Yep. Yeah, they really needed to all go together. If they had just alpha striked that Hewitt out of existence, I could have gone very differently. But it was a very close game.
User joined your channel.
Looks looks like I got back just in time again. Let's see what we've got here.
I didn't catch when the AUG actually was.
I want to say 36:30.
Yeah. This is a
So-
pretty interesting.
In the top slot, we've got Joey in a Daishi Alpha, aka Painkiller, with a Gauss rifle, some large pulse lasers and LRMs, versus Deimos in the Behemoth Echo, aka Sheila, for that epic red versus blue reference. With the Thumper artillery cannon, a whole bunch of Thunderbolts, and some backup lasers. We've got Silvercraft in a Shadowcat Prime. And what do we have here? Serial Mascot in a Ryokan Foxtrot with extended ATMs.
They're having Silvercraft go way off on his own.
Is that an Argus Alpha with the Gauss rifle?
Correct. It is.
I'm not sure why they're having Silvercraft go off on his own, because if that's the Shadowcat Prime, it has the same range as the other two mechs.
It's fast though. The rest of them aren't quite.
How did we get Bob in a Solitaire for a Shadowcat? I don't understand that.
They significantly underbought. I checked with them to see if it was a mistake, but they intended it to. That is a tag
That's
solitaire.
wild.
Solitaire Bravo.
I can't imagine what their thinking is here. Are they planning to tag in a whole bunch of Thunderbolts? Or
Correct. They're
ER
trying to tag
ATM?
the team. Yep, both of them.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I think it could work. Honestly, like having an Elarm Kata or something. I don't know how much that costs, but may have been.
Surely there's something that's less of an underbuy that has tag.
I was thinking about that. They could get an Owens or something, but I think they just want to
Nothing-
stay alive as long as possible.
Yeah, nothing that quite offers the mobility of a Solitaire. I mean, an Owens would probably be the next best bet. Probably a better balance of speed and survivability, considering the Jaguars are not likely to bring anything that could really catch it.
Yeah. Also, there's like so much firepower that like an Owens like can't jump or anything. It has kind of slow turning. If it gets cloud, it'll eat a lot of damage. It can survive a couple of volleys, but yeah, Solly just doesn't ever have to get hit. And
Well,
also
there
has
are
jump
a
jets.
couple Owens with mask.
Yep.
If you have enough money.
They can't hide behind the terrain as easily. Can't corner peek. Here, since that Solly has jump jets, you can hide behind a hill. As soon as somebody sees you, jump jet backwards. What do you have IJ do? Let me check.
I'm not sure they ordered Silvercraft to go off on his own to address something you said earlier. Silvercraft just does that. I've known him to go for the wide flank in just
yes.
about any kind of single life drop, no matter the
Oh, yes.
format. Has he crashed out?
None. Might be. He might be stuck. That is some very cursed terrain.
Maybe you want to pop in and check in on them.
I will check.
User left your channel.
Oh no, it looks like he's not stuck.
User joined your channel.
They're fine.
Okay. I will stop worrying. Silvercraft was a good pickup for them, but you really should have let me don the mask of the gay Avenger and sub in for them.
I mean, as much as I would have liked to do that, it would have just been, I don't know, I feel like for the people who could have subbed, it would probably be a lot better if we're not playing in the final round. Technically, there's no, there's nothing for us to lose by making one team winner or the other, but I think it's kind of a bad taste considering we also fought WR already.
Yeah, no, in all seriousness, if I did win against WR, even on a different team, I would feel a little bad for crushing their spirit on 2 different teams.
You're horrible.
Well, plus the fact that you're essentially like subbing in someone from a different team that's better would
Oh wait, we
mean-
got some thumper fire here.
Yep.
would be a bit unfair to whoever they're
Bob
fighting.
has appeared in the middle of their team. I don't know
Bob
if he realizes
versus
Silver's right there.
Silvercraft.
Oh, I think Bob just doesn't know he's there.
Oh my gosh. Silver, come on. This
Silver,
is your time to
please.
shine, buddy. Don't let him get away. Oh man.
That's bad. Oh my god, this Galstrap just getting eaten by that bush. His life. Okay, yeah, Silver can just deal with Bob.
Silver, come on, man. Lay on the pressure. Get that Gauss on the rear torso.
Oh, man, but the rest of the team is not pushing. I guess they're just trying to pick them up.
I mean, that's fine. You don't want to push on open ground against the thumper. Oh my god.
Just popped instantly.
That was sick. They saw the underbuy and they punished it hard. Now the ball is in the Wolverines' court.
And
SJ is in a comfortable position. They basically won at this point unless the other team really outplays them.
ooh, that's rough. I mean, they could probably still, if they leverage the 1250, they can probably still do a lot of damage to something. But also, Silver now is basically.
Let's get a
able
quick
to
paper
operate
doll
completely
check.
uncontested. Yeah. Silver is going to be able to operate basically uncontested, I think.
Shadowcat is missing 17% on an arm. Daishi is missing 5% on each component. Argus is fresh.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, the risk did not pay off. Unfortunate. To be fair,
Well,
I
that
would never-
ties it back up again. So they're gonna need at least one more match.
Ryokan is missing 17% on its center torso and is otherwise fresh. The behemoth is also untouched. It hasn't been in weapons range.
Can't really do much against Shadowcat. You have to try and push on the rest of the team. I don't know if they actually know where they are. But
Apologies to the audience. I had to tab out and do some Discord moderating for a brief second there, so the audio probably cut out. Not sure what the Jaguars' plan is right now. I think they're just kind of milling in circles trying to avoid getting thumped. It looks like Serial found an angle on them over here, but he's definitely in their weapons range.
Yeah, they
long as
could
he can make it work.
potentially just charge at the beginning and take it down as a group since it's alone.
oh no, Davis is going in the wrong direction. Also,
Oh, the behemoth is right there!
Cyril has to leave though. Like it would have been a better idea if oh man, there's just getting
Silver goes down.
This is actually doable.
Yeah, that behemoth is very mean.
The Jaguars need to pick one target and kill it right now. They need to commit hard. They're faltering, they're hesitating. I think this is it for the Jaguars. Yep, those pulse lasers are no good.
Holy hell. His face is on fire. Good lord. What a turnaround.
My, what an upset.
Headshot! Through the back.
I could have sworn the Jaguars had that one in the bag. That was some very good threat manipulation from the Wolverines.
I think
It's a
they
very
were too
high-level
afraid.
tactic.
They were too afraid of the behemoth. Like
Yeah,
when it
let
was
it go into
crossing,
mid-range.
when it was crossing the water, they should have just had a firing line there waiting for it, essentially.
Yeah. Instead they just let it get within all their minimum ranges. Or at least within Daishi's minimum range, and again, auto flavor. Wild. Alright, so that's a wrap then. That's WR3-1.
Yeah.
Well, those were some very entertaining matches. Both teams put up a hell of a fight, but ultimately, at the crucial moments, I think the Jaguars hesitated and choked a little too much, and the Wolverines were able to respond more quickly and in a slightly more coordinated fashion.
Yeah, all the player substitutions, I think, hurt like their team cohesion, like you were saying.
Yeah, that's always tough to work with. You know, in my experience, I feel like my weakest games are in the beginning of a tournament, and the more I play through and feel out the tournament's meta, and you know, shake off some of the rust from my own play, the better I do. So
Yeah, that's a pattern I've noticed with our teams. Like in every tournament, we always we always have a rough time at the beginning.
yeah, I think the rotating of players here really hurt the Jaguars.
Yep.
Although Silvercraft definitely acquitted himself in this match. He gave the Jaguars a crucial advantage that put them in the game when I otherwise thought the Wolverines had a pretty sizable advantage with the behemoth over the Daishi here.